Meeting of Tuesday, July 15th at order. I'd ask everyone to please rise. We're going to have the invocation led by Councilman Kara, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance led by Councilman Evans.
I have a prayer I'd like, an invocation I'd like to give for Independence Day. O merciful Father in heaven, on this anniversary of our nation's Declaration of Independence, keep this nation under your care. Protect our land from danger and instability. Abide with our military who courageously keep our country safe. Guide our president, our federal and state legislatures, our governors, and our county and city, borough, and township officials who all serve them. Grant all public servants the understanding that you work through them to keep our country stable and safe. Eternal God, the country you gave us is indeed a good land, a land in which freedom reigns. Give us faith, however, to look beyond this land and into the eternal home which you give to us for Jesus' sake. God of peace, you know that we live in a world plagued with war and uprising. By your word and sacraments, strengthen our faith so that we can endure this world while remaining confident of your eternal return when war will cease and peace will sustain the new creation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Kara.
Here.
Conley. Evans.
Here.
Lasky. Here. Mace.
Here.
Starzel.
Here.
Gursky.
Here. We'll have the reading of the minutes of the regular council meeting that was held on July 1st, 2014.
Motion to accept as written.
We have a motion by David and a second by Justin to approve the minutes. Anybody have any questions or comments? Does anybody from the floor want to address this motion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, no. The ayes have it. Communications.
Okay, I have a few this evening. First is from Land of the Running Water Marching Band Adjudication Festival Chair Lisa Mace, Band Booster President Dave Haddisty, and Tamaqua Band Director Mark Phelps. The Tamaqua Area Band Boosters are once again sponsoring a Fall Marching Band Adjudication Festival. This year's event will take place on Saturday, October 11, 2014. Showtime is 6:30 p.m. in the Tamaqua Area Sports Stadium. We are asking the council to restrict public parking to no parking on both sides of Cole Street from Orangeburg Street to Spruce Street. If possible, the signs need to be in place the morning of the festival. Also, we will be receiving aerial assistance with lights from one of the local fire departments for the warm-up area along the side of the high school. We will be making arrangements with the fire police to provide us with traffic control for the evening. A written response from you is needed to confirm this request.
Make a motion to approve the request. Requested that. I'll second it.
Motion by David, second by Justin. Anybody have any questions or comments? Anybody from the floor wish to address this motion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Next is from Raymond R. Woodring Sr. After 30+ years, I am regrettably submitting this letter as notice of retirement from my position in the Tamaqua Water Department as of July 15, 2014. I am immensely thankful for everything the borough has provided for me during my years, and I will always be grateful for all the opportunities I was able to get because of my stay here.
Make a motion to accept the resignation. Second that.
We have a motion by David and a second by Dan. Anybody have any questions or comments? Hold on.
Oh, retire. I didn't. Thank you. I'll make the motion.
Anybody have any questions or comments? Anybody from the floor wish to address this motion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Next is from Kevin Stagwell, Walt Troop 777. I am asking to council's permission to camp overnight at the Owl Creek Dams the weekend of August 8th through 10th. If our request is approved, we will need to set up at one of the existing campsites near the lower dam and use the pavilion, campfire, circle, and restrooms. I also contacted the Owl Creek Reservoir Commission to ask for permission to use their facilities. Thank you for your consideration.
Make a motion to approve.
We have a motion by Justin and a second by Dave. Anybody have any questions or comments? Anybody from the floor wish to address this motion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Next is from Rosemary Cannon, Chair, Parks and Recreation Committee, Borough of Lansford. Many thanks for the generous offer of the facilities at the beautiful Bueller Memorial Pool to the residents of the Panther Valley on Monday, July 7th during repairs to our Lansford pool. This certainly was a friendly neighboring gesture which was well received by the residents and greatly appreciated by the borough. Next is from Brian Rogers. I am the Community Accessibility Coordinator for the Lehigh Valley Center for Independent Living. We have a program currently underway thanks to a grant from the Pennsylvania Developmental Disabilities Council called the Community Accessibility Program, or CAP for short. This grant allows us to reach out to local municipalities to offer services and training on a wide range of disability issues. We currently have the ability to perform site surveys utilizing the current ADA and IBC codes and create detailed reports on our findings to help business owners become more compliant with the current rules. We have developed trainings on various accessible problems from barrier removal to outdoor recreation facilities. If you are interested in any of the trainings or services we provide, please contact them.
Thank you. Borough Manager's report.
Okay, under my report, I have put actually a plan and a policy. The first is a revised minority and women business enterprise plan, and second is a revised affirmative action policy. Lately, Dan Schrader, our community development officer, has been revising some of our plans and policies that are associated with our community development block grant program. So these are two of those plans that we're presenting to council for your consideration. You should have a resolution for the minority and women business enterprise plan. And there should be a copy of the plan attached. Also, council should have a copy of the affirmative action policy. Dan has prepared these with advice and consultation with the school and county. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to address them. But both would require council's approval.
Make a motion to adopt a resolution amending our minority business and women business enterprise plan.
I'll second that motion.
There's a motion by Dave and a second by Dan to adopt the resolution. Does anybody have any questions or comments? Anybody from the floor wish to address this motion? It's a resolution, so we'll have a roll call vote.
Carr.
Yes.
Evans.
Yes.
Lasky. Yes. Mace.
Yes.
Startzel.
Yes.
Gursky.
Yeah.
And make a motion to adopt our revised affirmative action policy.
I'll second.
Motion by Dave and a second by Tom. Anybody have any questions or comments? Anybody from the floor wish to address this motion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
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 Anyone opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Yeah, thank you. The other things I wanted to mention this evening is we have a request from the Tamaqua Rescue Squad. I put a draft letter at everyone's place. What they are requesting is they're looking to finance the purchase of a new rescue truck in the amount of $189,538. And in order to do this, the finance company needs a letter from the municipality stating that we recognize them as a service provider and that we don't have a problem with them purchasing a new piece of equipment. If you'll notice on the letter in bold letters, it said not require any financial involvement or any other obligation on our part. Essentially, we are saying that yes, they are an emergency service provider, and we understand they're buying a truck, and we don't have a problem with that. Jeff Bowe is a solicitor, and we had a discussion this afternoon. He's saying that this should be voted on by council and signed by both council and rescue squad. So
I understand it's their money that they're using, but do they want to get competitive bids, or they just pick a place they want to get it from?
that I couldn't answer. I don't know. But this piece of apparatus would be paid for by rescue squad.
So
Now, of course, we give the rescue squad an appropriation.
they get $13,000 a year from us. But
No,
Four.
rescue squad.
I mean, for
Yeah, $4,000.
I mean, not to sound like I'm being prejudiced to my own employer, but there are many people who work for a manufacturer right next door in the neighboring community. I would hope that these can give a shot at bid on this. I believe only one member of this community works for the other manufacturer, and there are many people who come off of the local manufacturer, but I would hope there are at least an opportunity to bid.
That I couldn't answer.
I don't know.
I don't know.
First I heard.
Who they talk to or how they rely on that particular main car.
so we can ask them if they want competitive bids, or we can we stick our noses in this?
We can certainly ask them that, but I don't think it should prevent us from certifying that they're an EMS provider in I think
that's the request.
and that's actually, I think it's two separate issues. I think it's worth having that conversation with them, but I wouldn't, that shouldn't prevent us from verifying that they do respond and that we recognize them as a provider.
I'll make a motion that we approve the letter acknowledging that they are approved EMS provider.
There's a motion by Dave, second by Justin. Do we have any questions or comments? Tom, will you have that conversation with them?
Yes.
Anybody from the floor wish to address this motion?
Might be able to relieve Tom's mind, they could have added a newspaper, they're getting federal grant, so they don't have to do it. Federal grant money,
Okay, and that takes care of that.
Any other questions or comments? Anybody from the floor wish to address this motion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, no? You guys have it.
One other thing I wanted to bring to your attention is, yesterday we received a notice from the Schuylkill County Tax Claim Bureau. They're preparing documents to hold another judicial sale. This would be sometime in the August-September timeframe. And they sent us a list of properties in the borough that would be exposed to the judicial sale. I made a copy of that for I believe I counted 12 properties on the list. And I guess lastly...
So before you get off of that, I would just encourage the people who are in attendance today and to Andy's viewers at home as well to review those 12 properties. Chances are you live close to one of these properties that's going to come up for a judicial sale. These properties often get sold for cash on the barrel over at the courthouse. The judicial sale sells them free and clear of liens and mortgages. So this is at the end of a multi-year process to get these properties to a judicial sale. It often involves code enforcement issues, delinquent taxes often, delinquent water, sewer, and garbage. And certainly in the borough's best interest, and I think it's council's desire that these properties get purchased by responsible owners. And so I would encourage everybody to take a look at the properties that are on the list and see if there's some in your neighborhood, and to encourage people who are going to be responsible for these properties to purchase them. The judicial sale process takes a long time to get them onto this list. We're going to be sold free and clear of liens and mortgages. And if they're purchased by an irresponsible property owner, we start the process all over again the day they buy it. And it could often have a devastating impact on our neighborhood. So there's only 12 properties in Tamaqua that are on the list, so I would encourage you to take a look at those. And I would encourage council to take a look at them as well, see if we can help encourage those to purchase. All right? Yep.
Thank you. And just looking over the list, there are several on here that look familiar. I know a few here that have received notice of violation from the code enforcement department.
Just for the benefit of the audience, 527 East Elm Street, 104 Pitt Street, 335 Grove Street, 421 West Broad Street, 13 Market Street, 310 East Broad Street, 256 Cottage Avenue, 266 Van Gelder, 214 Race Street, 160 Spruce Street, 63.5 Bow Street, and 750 East Broad Street.
And I guess lastly, with the recent people
Sneak over it.
a number of vacancies closed, both in-house and outside. Okay, well, I guess, first of all, the positions that we would need to post for in-house applicants would be the street department work leader, the street sweeper operator, the water department work leader, that would be raised requirement letter, and also a water department worker position. Those are all positions that we are required to post in-house for seeking outside applicants per our contract with them. And the street worker / assistant mechanic position we posted in-house, we received no applications. They were due yesterday, I believe. So I guess our next step will be to look outside for someone for that position. So I didn't know if there were objections that Rob and I can follow through with those posted. And that's all I have for now.
We do that by motion, just so we can make sure that we're clear directly.
How many of these have cleared internal posting and how many have?
I'm sorry.
How many of these have cleared internal posting and how many haven't?
Okay. There's one that we posted in-house that we had no applicants. For the rest, we need to the first step, which would be in-house posting.
And they haven't been posted internally?
Not yet.
Okay, so which one cleared the
street workers, the assistant mechanic.
make a motion to advertise for the street worker assistant mechanic position?
Motion by Dave, second by Justin. Anybody have any questions or comments? Anybody from the floor wish to address this motion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, no. Ayes have it. We have a motion to post the other one.
I'll make a motion to post the job vacancies.
We have a motion by Tom, second by Karen. Anybody have any questions or comments?
So we can do this for a contract anyway.
If we're going to fill the position. Sometimes councils have short memories. So we want to make sure we memorialize stuff like that. Anybody from the floor wish to address this motion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, no. The ayes have it. Anything else, Kevin? No. Police chief.
Anything I have is included in the monthly reports. I add a few reports just for your information. Give you a better snapshot of what's going on. That's all I have.
Thank you. Committee reports, parking and traffic committee.
Yes, I have two items. The first item I would like to address is a non-renewal of a handicap parking space at 210 Orangeburg Street. I would like to make a motion to to remove the sign at 210 Orangeburg Street.
Second.
Motion by Dan, second by Dave. Anybody have any questions or comments? Anybody from the floor wish to address this motion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, no. Ayes have it.
Okay, I'd also like to make a motion to deny a handicap application for Karen M. Staller at 315 Washington Street. We have received an application, reviewed it, we've gotten some input from a variety of sources, which I've shared with Kevin, and I will ask him to communicate with her. So I would like to make that a motion to deny that handicap space at 315 Washington Street. Second.
Motion by Dan, and second by Dave. Anybody have any questions or comments? Anybody from the floor wish to address this motion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, no. Ayes have it.
And other than that, I would like to try and put together a parking and traffic committee meeting as soon as I can, maybe the next 3 weeks, if not then after the next meeting. But I'll let everyone know. Thank you.
Any other committee reports?
Downtown neighborhood. I have a motion here, a motion to approve a certificate of appropriateness for a deck at 228 High Street.
Second.
Motion by Justin, and second by Dave. Anybody have any questions or comments? Anybody from the floor wish to address this motion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, no. The ayes have it.
And just a real quick update as well, I've been contacted by Dave and Mike, the bosses on the committee with me, about ESRP planning and zoning. I do have a meeting scheduled for next Tuesday at 7. They'll be here in council chambers. We're trying to invite more people still, so Tony, I know I didn't get a chance to speak to you yet, just so you know.
Anything else? Any other committee reports? Mayor's report.
I have two things. First item is we discussed some radio issues with the Department of Digital Diversity and along the previous meetings. We were loaned several radios to get through the time being by Green's Communication, and the gentleman is requesting the radios back as soon as possible. I want to know if you have any movement or thoughts on what our plan for the radio purchase or upgrade. I'm certainly not happy about the way that the county made this change, or that one business is sole proprietor to reap all the benefits of this countywide change, and kind of holding us hostage to this situation. Loaned us radios for the time being, but now it's certainly cost us money. Has council made any movement or thought about this or had any discussion? Once they remove these radios, it puts the town really in a bad situation, because the analog radios that we were told were going to be suitable have not been adequate to replace the situation.
Is that $4,000 for those radios?
List price was for the two-way radios for the vehicles, $7,000 a piece. We talked about doing 2 cars, correct? And the radios for each one of the handhelds were $6,500 a piece, and we talked about 6 of those. So that was a total of about $49,000.
That this budget or is it
All right? Or is that is that combined? That's a combined number of 33,000. Okay, 33,735 is the total number. There was a
Chief, what makes one radio worth $7,000?
I know.
certainly expressed my discontent.
7,000.
The last time we talked about this, I thought we were going to try to explore some grant funding options from Representative Cartwright or something like that. Like that, correctly? That was available.
So Chief and Mayor, you're proposing those for just 6 handheld and 2 for the vehicles? Is that what you're recommending?
That's getting the 2 newest vehicles equipped with car radios and having handhelds for the staff, giving us enough time to have some of them on charge while the others are being used. It's certainly not something we're happy about, and it's a mandate that came down when they made this change, and they told us that we would be able to use our analog radios, and I know the chief had staff out in the road at one time where there was absolutely no service whatsoever with the analog. And that's when Mr. Green came over and provided 4.
That's why they gave us a loaner, because the bandwidth is being narrowed, so the analog will work 20% less because of the digital.
And now he's after loaning them. And we had them for what, 3 months?
Close, yeah.
So now he's saying he needs those loaners back.
What
What
does
do you
it
do?
take to get these new radios?
More than likely has them in stock.
Just a couple of days?
Right,
Yes.
exactly. I'm sure he's got them in stock. He's, it's a matter of are we willing to?
Who said you have to purchase through him?
What's that?
Who said you have to purchase through him?
What's the,
If we don't purchase through him, we need to get him to set them up with the codes here, and we're gonna pay for that. We're gonna pay for him no matter what. And he is the contract with Motorola for this area. And so if we want Motorola for this area, we have to buy them off him through Motorola.
He's doing the same thing to us with the pagers and everything.
Yeah.
We're dealing with,
I don't know how some communities are dealing with it. It's a lot of money. We pared ours down as best we could.
we're sidestepping them a lot, even with them cap codes. We already got information and radios from Jim Hamler. I would talk to that guy before you make a purchase.
I did talk to him actually yesterday,
Okay.
because I was talking to him about our old radios, and he's coming up Friday to look at them, so might have a price on them soon. Put it off for a little bit, see.
All right.
yeah, let's
I
hold
talked to
back.
him, and when he's coming up Friday, told him to call me anytime, I gave my cell phone.
Do you know if he's a CoStar bank, Green's Communications? Is
I would assume he would have to be.
I think he is,
for a purchase of $33,000, it would have to be.
Yeah, CoStar's contract number's on here.
What are they taking the rentals off of you?
not renters, they're loaners.
He just said he wants them back soon. Did council make a decision? I said, no, not yet. I said, it's a matter of not if we're getting this, when and how we're gonna pay for it. And he asked me, he said, well, can you check on it? So I talked to the mayor, and that's why he's bringing it up. Because I told him I would check on it, see what's what.
What's the difference, Chief, what's the difference between a radio that you install in the 2 cruisers versus the handhelds? I mean, everything's pretty versatile anymore. I mean, is it the same radio?
No, it's not. One is a car radio, one is portable and carry on the person. And one car radio is wired directly to the car.
60 watts. And
The portables work very well. And I had mentioned about not even getting car radios. And you said about, no, we should get some.
Certainly doesn't hurt to have radios in your car. If you were to lose a handheld radio, at least your home base is the car that's in the field, and that's certainly a bonus to have a radio.
Well, one thing I was thinking with this is, I put those in there because of President Kersey talking about it. And maybe put off the mobiles for, or the car ones for that. It's almost 15,000, or at least 15. And just get portables, and like I said, 6 portables, if we had a critical incident, would hopefully be enough. If we had enough officers here, if we had a critical incident, 5 officers together in some situations. And then swapping them out from shift to shift, we can just get extra batteries. And we'll be fine with those for now until down the road a little bit more money becomes available.
If we could come maybe for our next meeting, if you have a proposal on what you want us to do.
No.
When the police committee reviewed the last proposal, we ran down a couple avenues trying to see if there was any way to use a different vendor, if there was any other less expensive options.
Well, not only that, we know what Mr. Hammer's gonna offer for the old stuff, and that includes the whole radio bank and so we might fare out pretty well on that, we don't know.
At some point, we're gonna have to get off the pot on this one. And we're gonna look to you, chief and mayor, to make a recommendation on what you want the council, what we need.
Yeah, And the bottom line is we definitely need a couple of handouts. 6 is the number that we came up with. Can we possibly get away without having car radios? Possibly, but it is certainly good to have a home base. Somebody gets into an issue and a radio gets dropped, you can at least get back to your car and have that support coming from your car. But it's a lot of money, and I'm certainly unhappy with the way this whole thing went down, not only from the county, but also from Green's Communication.
I'll have something prepared for council for them. As soon as I get something from Mr. Hamler, I'll have something in writing for the next meeting. Thanks.
FYI, fire is right around the corner. Within a year, we're gonna be dealing with the same stuff. And a lot more radios, a lot more radios.
Or block parties.
Right, about 2 radios.
Moving on, I've got 2 letters to read in my series of Dear Tamaqua letters. Certainly one of my favorite. I always like the books when I was growing up that had pictures and illustrations. And this is from Erica Goho, and it's a hand-drawn and colored illustrated pictorial of Rabbit Run and her and her father fishing. She even has the spillway on here. What a great job. My dad and I go fishing at Rabbit Run, and certainly proud of her. That certainly cheered me up a little bit there to get started on the Dear Tamaqua letters. And another one I have is Dear Tamaqua. Tamaqua, I have known you for almost 15 years of my life, and I can honestly say we are close. I know a lot about you, like that you have this light in you that no one else seems to have. You're an old soul with a vintage yet modern vibe to you. You bring people together with your comfortable personality so that no one's a stranger to each other. There are so many things I could list about you that makes me love you, such as the way you seem to brighten in the spring when the flowers bloom and the birds begin to chirp, or the way you spread the Christmas spirit in mid-December when many have the winter blues. I could probably go on for another page about all the good things about you. Sadly, I'm not writing this letter to praise everything about you, but I'm writing because I'm concerned about your well-being, along with many other people in the community. Lately, I can't help but notice you've been hanging out with the wrong crowd. You're getting into things like drugs and bullying at school. This is getting serious. Smoking is one thing, but methamphetamine, this is getting ridiculous. All of your priorities are messed up, and I'm hoping this letter opens your eyes to what is really happening. These are getting so bad with you that I'm afraid that when 2017 rolls around and I graduate and we part ways, that I may never reconnect again. So I hope you clean up your act, not only for everyone around your sake, but for yourself. Isabel Lagenza. Very creative. I'm very impressed. And we certainly understand what she's speaking about. The chief has made many of arrests and staff with neighboring communities and agencies that have supported, and it's definitely a top priority, not only for the Tamaqua Borough, but for the Tamaqua Police Department. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Is there anybody from the floor who wishes to address council about any matter? Please stand up and state your name and address.
John Hill, 65 Bell Street. I'm here, I was here last month about the property at 63 and a half. I know it's on judicial sale because I wrote to the courthouse to put it on. And Josh, he went inside in the mat and they took pictures. He saw the officer was with them. And I want to use each one of you to see what we're dealing with. I mean, we're dealing with ceilings falling down, roof is leaking, not dripping, it's leaking buckets. And, we're gonna have termites, moles, roaches. Oh yes, and I'm gonna bring this up. He gave me a copy of a citation they sent to the owners. 6/20, it was dated. I was over in the magistrate office today. They just sent it out today. Because there was no judge there, 6/20.
Yeah, I would encourage you to try to find a responsible owner to purchase it. It's gonna have a new owner
I know that,
in a couple of
I know.
months, so.
because it needs a roof on before the winter, or we're gonna have our roof collapsing.
What happens in a situation like it might take 2 years before it's sold, and if there's no roof put on between the leaking, in other words, it's a fire hazard, it creates bugs, it has mold, that's gonna affect the whole road, because it will spread right out. So it is a concern to like 8 families.
My suggestion would be get together with the neighborhood, find somebody to buy it and lock it down. I mean, there is no easy answer.
How come the owners aren't responsible for this?
The owners haven't paid their taxes, they haven't paid their water.
Oh, I know that.
That's how it gets on a judicial sale.
Why can't we garnish their wages?
We don't have to, if we had the ability to do that by law, we would. There's been legislation introduced that would allow that, but it's never passed. So we don't have that.
Well, it's discussed, we just are discussing.
I'm sorry, your name and address?
Me?
Yeah.
Carol Wargo. I live at 61 Bow. It is, like I said, it's a major concern.
Is there anything we can do to not fix it, to at least secure the roof and, you know, to resist some of the water that's going through? I mean,
We don't own the property.
yeah, we don't own the property, but I mean,
Go after the owners.
But these people can't even have an insurance adjuster come up and fix whatever's damaged, because the roof still isn't, you know what I mean? It's leaking on both ends.
because we secure buildings when windows are smashed. We secure buildings when they're broken into, so why can't we secure the roof at least good enough to do something to where the leaking isn't as bad? Until somebody can buy the property.
It's the whole roof of their rooms. You'll see by the pictures.
It's also not the only leaky roof in Tamaqua. That's the issue with that. If it was one leaky roof in Tamaqua, then we might have to
I
really.
know, but if we have a fire, it's gonna be a mess up there.
The thing of it is, I soon have to put a roof on too. And I can't do nothing until everything's joined together.
I mean, it's been abandoned 10 years. We even got the grass, the porch, clean the pavement. Shouldn't have to do that.
How much is it gonna cost you to put a roof on your place?
About $3,000-4,000.
That's how much it would cost to put on this dilapidated property.
Actually, they need 3 roofs. They need 3 roofs.
And they would need, this is probably that damage.
Yeah, the roofs are small, the porches. But
They're
the
not
main
big
roof,
roofs.
the main roof is big, but the porches, they're shot. But, I don't even think they responded to the citation when they had, the borough was up
They
to
haven't
the
responded
grass.
to anything for.
Well, why can't you go after them?
Yeah.
Well, we do, and when we cite them, they ignore those things through.
Actually, it should be sent a certified letter, not regular mail.
We do send to.
She said they're gonna do this. If they don't answer this citation that she sent out today, in 10 days, they'll send a certified one. They probably won't answer that.
And so pretty much what I've learned over the past few months, because I mean, a lot of them talk to you about dilapidated houses, homes that are falling down, is that it's a reoccurring thing. We do what we have to do, and then nothing really actually gets done until somebody actually comes and buys the property, or until we can buy possibly in very cheap.
Kevin, how many homes are on that demolition list?
All the demolition list, well, 5 were removed. Okay. But the full list is 20. West Cross,
Is this property on that list or no?
no.
We demo on.
Yeah, they're all.
We demo all.
Yeah, you had it out of demo roll. It's expensive, it's
How long has this,
benefits
how long has
both
this
sides,
house
it's
been
both
vacant?
Like
structures.
10 years.
Well, the judicial sale has a new address.
It's costing to say the least, it's a concern.
It's
It really is.
the address.
But you You knew the owners, right?
Yeah.
They were from
I
Florida,
actually seen her at the
they-
Walmart.
They were local, right? Local.
Both of them used to, I actually seen her at the Walmart about 2 or 3 months ago. I wasn't rude, I just asked her what they were gonna do with the property. As I said, your roofs are leaking, shrugged her shoulders and walked by.
You're grounded for civil suit.
You do. If somebody, if your neighbor's property damages your property, you do have ground.
As I said, I have water
Yeah,
dripping on a file back.
We don't-
Electrical.
The file of civil suit, we don't even know what damage is gonna occur yet in our houses. If that roof's been fixed,
And that house was kept fairly decent, it's a shame.
but I
what
just see
happened.
now it's a mess.
Like I said, it's actually a fire hazard.
And his ceiling, electrical wiring.
We take our CDBG money and we use it always to improve the community by wanting to build something, make something new. Maybe we should do something to CDBG money just to tear down these properties.
We do. We maximize it. We spend every penny that we're allowed to. You're only allowed to spend, you're only allowed to spend a certain percentage of our CDBG funds on demolition, and we always spend that plus. We've also used our CDBG funds to establish low-interest loan programs. You get, some property owners could get a 0% loan to fix roofs or address issues. But you need to have the responsible owner who's going to do that.
Excuse me, but does Randy work for the borough? Snyder? No, I was gonna say, can we give you some kind of a deal on it, just,
When they have a job, they get a job.
oh, well, just, so something's done with the roof, that everybody, you know what I mean? Has some kind of satisfaction out of the whole deal, because
But with the borough can't be fixing up everybody's roof, that's the issue.
I
We don't own the
understand
building.
Although when you're sleeping at night and you have water dripping on electrical, I mean, something goes up.
I mean, it is our responsibility to house very much, all live there. I mean, it's our responsibility to, mind people.
Who's responsible if they collect the taxes?
I have a grandson that I have every other weekend, you know what I'm saying? You're still unsafe.
It's not him, when it.
Take the whole load out.
We owe them hours off that property.
Yeah, that is wrong.
Hours off. But it drips on my electrical.
Where's that?
You can't have water.
Yeah, it comes right at the.
That was, can you go up and just get a contractor here to repair it?
Why? Because it's gonna leak all the leaks in his whole wall. Or he's gonna put a light to see to get up the steps. The light's right there at the top of the steps, you need a light. Nobody can turn the light off.
Situation. Have you got a contractor to find out how much it would cost?
No, we can't do it yet because we don't know the damage yet because every time it rains, it pours in the attic, because I can put my attic steps. And it just pours.
Let me ask, what would it cost you to fix this, the neighbor's house?
To fix the neighbor's house.
Why would we
I
want
don't
to do
want to
that?
fix it.
No. Protect your own house.
Why would you want to do that? It's leaking into your house.
It's leaking onto electricals, you know.
How we gonna fix it? It
So we're
runs.
supposed to fix it and then they're gonna sell it and.
Yeah,
Well, my suggestion would be, you find somebody to attend the judicial sale and acquire the property, because then you could work, you could fix the property without any kind of legal issue without being on the property. And
I
find
mean, we
somebody.
can't fix our property till third balance fixed.
They would have to roof the
Because it just keeps on raining and it runs, the water runs through the rafters and down the.
Well, the judicial sale is supposed to be in August or
I know,
September, probably be September,
I know.
until they get it on.
I know you're looking at someone else's property.
it's all right if you're a wealthy person and you depend we're on a fixed income. Where's the money coming from?
But what exactly are you asking them to do? Like, they said about fixing this and that, like, what are you asking them to do?
To get a roof on the
Get a
house.
roof on the house.
On your house or the other house?
No.
Okay, so if they put the roof on the other house, it's still gonna be leaking onto your house, because your house is damaged now too, from all the water running into it.
Can you state your name and address for the record?
Okay, Samantha Ivy,
And your address, please?
4 Blackberry Lane, Tamaqua.
Yeah, unfortunately, we have this situation, that we have 12 properties on judicial. These are properties that the owners have walked away from. They stopped paying taxes, stopped paying their water, sewer, and garbage. Often they've gone through a mortgage sale or sheriff's sale because there's obviously liens on the property. When it gets to the judicial sale, the judge wipes all the liens off of the property. These properties usually sell for a few $100s at a judicial.
What would happen if one would buy it?
Then it goes into what's called a repository sale, and we have properties in Tamaqua on a repository sale, which means you can go in and just pay, they set a cash amount, you can go in and buy it any time. So there's properties right now in Tamaqua that are on what's called the repository sale list. You can go over there, and it's the cost of the court cost to pay for it for a couple $100, you could own it.
Keep in mind, right now with this sale, judicial sale, there could be a slum landlord could buy this sight unseen and walk away from this and not touch it, and we would chase over this whole thing all over again. And I know it's certainly not something that you guys have a lot of cash laying around, but if one of you were able to purchase this property and for a couple $100, so a slum landlord did not buy this property and create this whole headache and fix the roof up, it would give you so much peace of mind. I know it's money that you probably don't have in your pocket, or you would prefer to spend it on something better than buying the house next to you. It gives you so much peace of mind.
Yeah, but that house has to be gutted out. Every
It's a
room.
mess.
And I certainly understand. I'm just making a possible suggestion, because if somebody was to buy that sight unseen and walk away from it, we would have to chase their tails in the same direction all over.
Start the code enforcement process all over again on a new property owner.
Well, if anybody buys it, and I know who buys it, and there's slums, I'll be after them right away.
You should buy it or get someone.
I don't wanna buy it.
You should know who's gonna buy it.
I don't want another house in Tamaqua. I have my own to take care of.
It costs you a fortune to fix it.
A
It is a
fortune.
mess.
Yes.
Or you would just want to fix it, so it wouldn't ruin your place.
Right.
Or if it's gonna ruin a few houses on the block, everybody get together, buy it, and then knock it down, pay for it to get knocked down.
Why should we have to pay for their not taking care of it?
And there's 11 other properties on the judicial sale list that are, many of them are in the same condition.
And if I didn't pay my taxes, they take it away the next year.
Yeah.
I'd like to know how a person, 10 years, can get away with that.
Well, they end up losing the property. That's what happens. Is there anybody else on the floor that wishes to address council? Tony?
Tony Robert, 28 South Railroad Street. Over the 12, 13 years I've been here, this is a recurring problem with derelict properties, absentee landlords, slumlords, whatever you want to label them. Certainly, at a minimum, we can call them people who don't maintain their properties. This is a recurring problem throughout the Commonwealth. And is it possible for council to get with our representative, Mr. Knowles, and our Senator Argyle, to let them know that although we do appreciate what they have done for the derelict properties in Harrisburg, we need to grab the tiger by the tail, if you will, and start swinging it and get the people in Harrisburg to put some teeth into some of this stuff. I've lived all over this country, as you've heard me say before, and this is the only place that I have ever lived where if you don't maintain your property, you can skate for nigh on to forever without having your wages, your salaries, your savings, your other assets and everything else garnished and taken away from you. I know for a fact in Milwaukee, if you let your house go derelict, they'll come kick your car. You can't get away with it. If you don't fix your roof, if you don't mow your lawn, the community will do it for you. They add it to your tax bill, 3 years delinquent taxes, they're into your bank accounts. And they will actually assess and take away up to 67% of your wages. Try to live on a third of your income, see how fast you fix your property. California is very, very, very similar. you must repair, or it goes on your tax bill. California, you've got 2 years before they kick your butt out of the house, and the town sells your house, they pay you, they pay off the mortgage, and anything over and above that comes off of expenses first. You get what cash is left over, which is usually nothing. But this Commonwealth, and the only way it's going to happen is for our legislators to create new legislation. We can come and argue before you, but unfortunately you can't regulate what the Commonwealth as a whole does. Can we get, because I think this is, statewide, if you will, more power in Harrisburg to escalate this to the point where the statutes have some teeth. Writing citations is fine, but it takes, how long? 10 years? 15 years? And if somebody does buy the property in the middle and does nothing about it, you've got another 4 or 5 years before it goes judicial sale again, and then somebody else buys it. It can go on forever. There's certainly properties in Tamaqua that have literally gone on forever through the sales process, through judicial sale and things like that are still not repaired because the people who bought it come out, take one look, and go, never mind, and turn them walk away. And we've got properties on repository lists that have been there for decades. And they probably will be there for decades because everybody takes one look and goes, I'm not spending $250,000 to remediate a property that might sell for $15,000 when I'm done. Subject number 1 closed, please. Number 2, for your meeting, Justin.
Yeah.
Would it be possible, given that Planning Commission is really incredibly interested in this, to make sure that we have a couple of representatives from planning? I am cautious because the Planning Commission is 5 members. If we have 3 people show up, we technically have a quorum. Can this meeting be advertised as a workshop meeting or something else like that? So if we do have 3 or 4 members from planning show up, we're not going to have a quorum. Likewise, if we do get 2 or 3 people coming from zoning hearing, they're not going to have a quorum either. Have an unadvertised meeting. And also if council, if it's advertised as a joint workshop of multiple commissions and boards and council, then we can have a workshop and you can have 7 members from council present if you need to. We're not going to take any action other than to put things on the table and discuss, but that might be beneficial. I would encourage you, and I broached the subject with Linda Ewan-Avage on behalf of the HARC and the Downtown Tamaqua Association and the Chamber of Commerce at the last HARC meeting. She declined, but is going to present it to the HARC board, to her chamber board, to have a representative from the Chamber of Commerce here to discuss how the zoning ordinance impacts small businesses, and in particular, how it also potentially impacts in our business corridor on Broad and Center Street, the ability to utilize our upstairs second floors, which I know is a huge, huge investment that we've got sitting at 500-some thousand square feet not being used. And 500,000 square feet, the borough of Tamaqua is a significant chunk of the square footage available. Part of the ordinance, if I may bend your ear, requires that businesses, if they are expanding or coming in, have handicap parking. You want to tell me on Broad Street where we're going to put handicap parking? Nowhere. But some of the businesses do have access in the back, in the rear, that were originally parking spaces used for the residential apartments above, or for the owner's parking. The ordinance requires if a business is expanding to put in handicap parking spaces, and if they have one that could be used for residents, to forfeit it as a residential parking space in lieu of a business parking space. That's not very friendly if we're going to have people not only expanding businesses, but also having utilization of their upper floors. I think it's far more, in my personal opinion, of course, and realizing I'm the vocal minority, I think it's far more important that we have a parking space for residents 24/7, 365, compared to a parking space for somebody who may be in a restaurant or shopping at a store for maybe an hour to an hour and a half. We're forfeiting a full-time residential parking space in exchange for a handicap parking space for someone that may be in a facility for an hour and a half or 2 hours at the most, maybe once or twice a week or once a month or once every 6 months. particularly on our businesses on Broad Street and stuff like that, between Nestor and Swatera, a handicap parking space in the back of any of those buildings, you gotta be kidding. 500 yards around the corner to get to the front door. Who's gonna park in the back? And the ordinance makes no provision or requirement that you have to have a sign that says handicap parking in green.
And I don't want to interrupt you, these things could be talked about in more
Right,
detail.
but I want council to be aware of some of these things and why I think it's important that we include representatives of the business community, the Merchants Association, the Chamber of Commerce and stuff like that, to give us the benefit of their input and also from the Downtown Tamaqua Association and the utilization of our forums. Thank you.
Tony, you spoke well about the blighted properties. Us, but for me to go and talk to Jerry Knowles and Dave Martin about it, I couldn't express myself like you did. Can you talk to them?
I would be happy to. I think
wanna
it
go
would be
by
wonderful
yourself?
if
I'll go
we
with
have, 5 or 6 people who, like these fine people here, to come and have a general forum and sit down discussion with, so they can hear the benefit of the citizens and not just me.
I can tell you that Dave has certainly been an advocate for the private asset attachment. Which really,
Absolutely.
if you want to get people to care about their properties, that private asset attachment is the way to go. And that's something that does have teeth to it.
Yes.
It's people where it hurts, you can't just skip town and
Yes.
abandon your properties. I've actually testified on behalf of the borough because we've been dealing with these issues as long as I've been on council. And it's always been an issue, and we always lack the real tools to be able to hold people accountable.
Yeah, and,
But it's not, I've testified in front of not just Dave and Jerry, but other senators.
I'll go to Harrisburg and tell them, I don't care.
Absolutely. I'll tell you what, if any of them in Harrisburg lived on Bow Street, this would get passed tomorrow.
Yeah, well, of course, if we took all of Harrisburg and made them live in similar circumstances, it would get passed last week. But the trickle-down effect is enormous. What is a torn-down property generate in property tax to the borough revenue? Zip. So that leaves even less money to do anything with.
And it's there were very minimal correspondences with Micah, but there is a non-for-profit program that is very big out west. It's called From Blight to Bright. And Hazelton is adopting this initiative. I don't know a whole lot about it. Mike and I just spoke real quick through emails about coming up with a committee of the community where it's the community that will take control over these blighted properties. And one great example is purchasing them as quickly as we can. It doesn't solve your problem, but it's going to have to be the community that bands together to really prevent these things.
It's our home. It should be us.
Absolutely.
We've organized volunteer work groups to go and fix roofs and get donated materials and things like that to go and fix roofs in the South Fork. The answer is ridiculously simple. Somebody needs to pick up that property. The question is who's going to do it. And the other 12 and 20. Anybody else from the floor wish to address council about any issue?
Hi, my name is Guo Cheng from 123 West Broad Street. I want to come in because I'm having a problem with Josh. He's trying to make me have 5 dampers on my HVAC, which I'm installing for the new buffet that I'm gonna open soon. And before we didn't need to, but then once we changed the wall, he said it was required by code. But then I talked to my HVAC professional. He said if the vent doesn't go through to another building, it doesn't require it. But then he wants me to draw a whole set of new plans, which I don't have time to put in and wait for another month. Which I start this I start the plan for almost like a year already by now, and it's not going too well. So I was trying to say if the council could do something about, like, say something to Josh about, like, we don't need 5 vendors when it's not going to another building. So that's all what I gotta say.
I think you're going to be a little bit out of our expertise as far as those specific parts of the code. But we could certainly talk to Josh.
Yes,
and
yeah, we could talk to him and then make it easier and stuff.
Yeah, the Borough Council, we follow the Pennsylvania Uniform Construction Code. It's the same code for everybody in Pennsylvania. We don't have a lot of leeway on that. It's either we either adopt the code and enforce it ourselves, or the Department of Labor and Industry enforces it in Tamaqua. We've chosen to enforce it ourselves, and I think that's a good thing for the community. But if you could contact Kevin and give him the specifics on what you're talking about. Like I said, we don't have a lot of leeway on the code, but we can talk to Josh and see what the specifics are.
Yeah, we could change a little bit stuff. Yeah.
Your project is a great project. I think what you're doing down there on West Broad Street.
Yeah, we just want to help the town get better and stuff. Yeah, but it's already been a year. I'm saying time is money, and then we're spending so much money on it.
We want you to make lots of money so you can fix up the building and keep it up. And a buffet sounds really good to me.
Me too.
I'm like barely qualified on this.
Oh, good.
If I understand what you're saying correctly, you've got ductwork that goes from one side of the building to the other.
But the whole building is already in one building. It's not going. The ductwork is not gonna go through to another building, so it shouldn't require five members.
Ductwork in one property and ductwork on the other property, but they don't cross through the wall.
The building is all in one building though, like how it used to be one building.
There's a firewall between the two buildings, so if you've got a duct that goes through that firewall.
But it already has two.
It sounds to me like what he's talking about is a fire damper.
Yeah, fire damper. That's what I was trying to say. Yeah, but then it already has two like automatic shut off already on the like two air conditioners.
Again, I'm sort of familiar with mechanical codes. I do
I think that is really
electrical, but if there's ductwork that passes through a firewall, it needs to have a fire damper so that in the event of a fire, there's like a fusible link in there or something like that that will, if it warms up, the damper shuts down and prevents the spread of fire.
Yeah, I was saying it's just. I was saying like, cause my first blueprint came out, it didn't need a fire damper at all, right? But then once I changed from drop ceiling to drywall, they said it was required to have fire damper. Like, what's the difference between a drywall and a drop ceiling? It's both are fire resist and stuff. And then what I'm saying is, it really costs around like $15,000 just to put fire dampers on. Yeah. And
but again, like I said, I've got just a little bit of knowledge in this area.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
If ductwork penetrates firewalls, it does need the damper that he's referring to. That is in the code.
Are you only having two problems with our code?
And the red.
Hang on. Are you having two problems with the code, the ductwork and the drawings for the building? Is that all?
I think that it's just the ductwork and stuff.
Just that you're having one problem, and that's with the ductwork.
Yeah, and the variance.
Everything else is okay.
And the variance, I was forced to have a parking in back on my, for the handicap, and back on my restaurant.
Sounds like you're strong.
And the requirement to redo all the drawings, that's it.
No, he was requiring me to draw a whole set of HVAC plan, but then it's gonna take a lot, because I'm almost done with the construction, and then they're all waiting for them to put it before they can put a ceiling on. And then it's gonna take another time. They have all the materials, but then they said that there's a change for the fire damper and stuff, so yeah.
So you can make sure you get with Kevin, either after the meeting or tomorrow here at the office, just give him some of the details so he can follow up with Josh or Steve.
Okay.
Anybody else from the floor wish to address council? The solicitor report. Mike is not here tonight. We have the reports of the various borough departments.
Make a motion to accept as written.
We have a motion by David and second by Tom to accept the reports. Anybody have any questions or comments? Anybody from the floor want to address this motion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, no. The ayes have it. Just one of the reports is our code enforcement report. That is a public record. If anybody wants to see the monthly code enforcement activity, it's pretty thick every month. 6 or 7 pages of property. Unfinished business. Bills and claims.
We met yesterday, review the bills. I think we few things today. Okay. Myself and Brian were here yesterday, and we reviewed everything, and Brian and I didn't find anything to do.
No.
So, bills and claims and things that were all in order, I'll make a motion to pay them.
Motion by Tom and a second by Terry to pay the bills. Anybody have any questions or comments? Anybody from the floor wish to address this motion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, no. Ayes have it. New business. Under new business, the council should have a copy of a proposal from the Seltzer Group. We contract with them for many of our human resources issues and work. It's a proposal for diversity and discrimination employee training. What I'm suggesting is that I'm asking council for approval to approve this proposal to have mandatory training for all of our borough workers on diversity and discrimination. And it's something it's the law, and it's something that I think would benefit our workers to go through this training. Seltzer has agreed to do 4 separate trainings. Each employee will be required to attend one of the 4. And so it's 4 classes for $200, which I think is a bargain. Between the police and our part-time seasonal workers and the lifeguards and our regular workers, hopefully we'll be able to schedule those at times when everybody will be able to attend.
I make a motion to provide diversity and discrimination employee training for the borough workers.
Anybody have any questions or comments? Just any questions? We include a motion that is mandatory for all.
Under that question, does that include this group? Because more important, there's this group of people sitting right here. Anybody nervous?
Council.
I don't know that it would certainly be available for council. I don't know because we're not employees of the borough. I don't know that we're not employees of the borough. I don't think we can require each other to attend. Actually, I'm certain that we can't.
Maybe we can't require, but I think we strongly suggest to each other that we do attend. It's a session that more than likely be available at different times of the day for us to attend. And although it may not be required by the borough code, it certainly wouldn't be a bad idea to.
Are you gonna attend?
Absolutely. It's a great idea, and our world gets more and more diverse, whether it's race or color or religion or sexual orientation or culture or anything else, and we really have to be a welcoming community. We're going to get people to come to our community and buy these properties and want to live here. We have to be a welcoming community. We can't control what everybody else does in Tamaqua, but we can control what our employees do as representatives of the community and representatives of us.
And if we're going to ask our staff to do something, it certainly won't hurt for us to do it as well. It certainly won't kill us. And you're right. This country is a melting pot, and it started that way. And certainly our community is no different. Thank you.
Anybody from the floor wish to address this motion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, no. The ayes have it. One other thing under new business, just want to remind the council that National Night Out is scheduled for Tuesday, August 5th. That is the day of our regularly scheduled meeting, first regularly scheduled meeting. If we have business for council to take action on during that meeting, we will have our council meeting. If we don't, I will cancel the meeting, and I would encourage council to participate in the National Night Out. It's an effort it's from 6 to 9 p.m. on August 5th, and it's an effort to bring people out into the streets to promote safety and sort of show the community that there's a lot more good people in Tamaqua than there are bad people in Tamaqua, and a lot more good things can happen than bad things. And we spend a lot of time here and everywhere else focusing, I know the police do all the time, spend a lot of time focusing on the negative parts, but we really do have a lot of very positive people in the community. And this is a bit of a celebration of that, so I would encourage council to participate. Any other new business? Are we into executive session tonight?
Make a motion to go into executive session for employment reasons.
Duly motion by John, a second by Dave. We go into executive session for personnel reasons. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, no. The ayes have it. We're going to go into a private executive session to discuss a personnel matter. Are you ready?
Yeah.
I'd like to call you back to order. We were in an executive session to discuss a personnel matter. We were also in an executive session to discuss a legal matter.
I'd like to make a motion to hire 3 people for the street department. Mark Lively, Richard Miller, and Aaron Aguiano.
We have a motion by Tom, second by Justin. Anybody have any questions or comments? Seniority?
Well, I would prefer making it effective on 3 different days. If they're all hired on the same day, then seniority is determined by the last 4 days of Social Security. So I would make it effective on 3 different days. You want to do that?
Yeah.
Do they have a contract that they have to sign?
So the high numbers of the...
Any other questions or comments? Do we have an effective date? Do we need an effective date period?
I always prefer having a different effective date. So the seniority is clearly defined. I apologize, I didn't think of this.
Yeah, but it's kind of... No.
Okay.
Well, by the social
What do
security.
you think?
There's been plenty of favors, and okay, no Mark's wife is here, I recommend he goes first.
I only came so I could tell him I'll know before he does.
You don't get
I think
paid when they
the
start
seniority
working.
thing is a bunch of nonsense anyway. It might as well be just everybody.
That's how it's, yeah,
That's how they run it.
that's how it runs.
Yeah, let that be their problem.
Yeah, let them figure it out. Anybody from the floor wish to address this motion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, no? The ayes have it. Can you make sure that the minutes reflect that the seniority will be based on? Anything else?
Yeah, just a question about the meeting that you were looking to have. If it needs to be an advertised meeting, and you're looking to have it for next Tuesday. Does that give enough time?
24 hours.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
we can get an advertisement, and that was a good suggestion, that way anybody can attend. You gonna run the meeting?
He's delegating to you.
Great, nice work.
Oh, if I may ask a question.
No, we have a motion.
Too late, Kevin.
You mind?
It depends.
How long is it gonna take?
I have a follow-up
What's it gonna
question
cost?
to that meeting discussion, if you don't mind. How am I advertising this? This is
You're gonna advertise it as a planning commission meeting, a zoning board meeting, and a borough council workshop.
Okay.
And it would just be, the sole purpose of the borough meeting will be to discuss these. So we can't take action on discussing.
So it'll be a joint meeting of those bodies here next Tuesday at 7. Okay. Thank you.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, no? Thank you, everybody.
Justin, I need a signature from you tonight too. I understand. I need a lot of